Creating a day and night cycle is one of those things that seem deceptively simple on the surface. You think, oh, just change the sky color, right? Wrong. So wrong. This weekend turned into a deep dive into the technical side of things, shaders, scripting, and way too much coffee. I even spent a good hour trying to figure out why the moon was orbiting the sun. It was a whole thing, don't ask. But after a lot of head scratching and late nights, I finally cracked it. And I think you'll agree, the results speak for themselves. So Edward, what is the problem? Well, the previous lighting was just boring. It didn't matter if it was midday or midnight, sunrise or sunset, or anything in between. It was the same thing every time. And it was time to change it. It killed the immersion, made everything look flat, and honestly, it just wasn't visually appealing. I want players to be wowed by the visuals, and the static lighting was definitely not doing that. Okay, so this is supposed to be midday. Not bad, right? Now this is supposed to be midnight. Notice anything off? Yeah, the sun is still blasting away, not exactly a moonlight night. And here's my attempt at a sunset. A little bit of orange in the ambient light, but it still feels completely artificial. No warm glow, no long shadows, nothing. See the difference? It's night and day. Literally, I knew I had to completely overhaul the lighting system to create the atmosphere I was going for. So, to fix that boring, unchanging lighting, I knew I needed a way to control the time of the day in the game. That's where the time system comes in. Check this out. I can set how long a day lasts, in this case just 1 minute for testing, and you can see the in-game ticking away. Now that I know what time of the day is, I can base all other calculations I need on that variable. The light's rotation can be resolved with some trigonometry and even the intensity of the light. Now, as the sun starts to set, we need another light source, and that's what we call the moon. Now, I know, technically the moon doesn't emit its own light, it just reflects the sun's light, but for simplicity's sakes in the game, we're treating it as its own light source. Up until now, I've just been changing the direction of the light, but to really sell the effect, I needed actually to show the sun and the moon orbiting the planet. So I created two massive spheres, one for the sun and one for the moon. Now, again, technically, the moon is way smaller than the sun in real life, but it's also much closer to Earth. That's why they appear to be roughly the same size in the sky. So for the game, I just made them the same size to keep things simple. And now we also got some nice spheres orbiting our planet, creating a much more convincing day and night cycle. The final piece of the puzzle was the sky itself. I needed a way to change the background color to match the time of the day, so I created a custom shader. This shader uses a gradient to blend between different colors, creating a smooth transition from the bright blue of daytime to the deep purples and blacks of night. And when you apply that to the game world, you can see how much it adds to the overall atmosphere. And after a lot of tweaking and testing, I finally got it. I'm absolutely thrilled with how the day and night cycle has transformed this world. The sunrise is actually my favorite part. Seeing those first rays of light creep over the horizon, it just feels right. At midday, the world is bustling, the sun is high in the skies, casting these really sharp shadows. It adds so much depth to the scene. The sunset in this game, I'm actually seriously proud of how these turned out. The colors are just insane. It's the perfect time to just stop and admire the view. And of course, the nighttime brings a completely different mood. It's quiet, peaceful, almost mysterious in a sense. I'm also particularly happy with how the light interacts with the water. It really brings the scene to life. There's still some things that I want to add in the future, like stars and further refinements to the sky shader, but for now I'm incredibly happy with the progress. If you enjoyed this devlog and want to see more progress on Tranquil Waters, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And let me know in the comments what you think of the new day and night cycle. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.